The world had gone silent before the storm. It was 2025, the year the fragile peace between America and China finally cracked. Trade wars had turned into cyber wars, and words into weapons. When a U.S. spy satellite was shot down over the South China Sea, the last thread holding diplomacy snapped. Within hours, fleets began to move, jets took off, and the Pacific Ocean, once a symbol of trade, became a stage for war. From the command deck of the USS Liberty, General Marcus Steele watched the sunrise turn the sea red. "Sir, Beijing confirms full mobilization," his aide reported. Steele nodded, eyes hard. "Then history's watching us now." Across the ocean, near Hainan Island, Admiral Zhang Wei of the Chinese Navy stood on the deck of his flagship Dragon's Wrath. "The Americans have forgotten how far our reach goes," he said calmly. "It's time to remind them." Drones the size of cars buzzed through the humid air. Hypersonic missiles sat ready beneath deck hatches. The ocean waited, vast, patient, cruel. At 0500 hours, the first missile struck. A flash of light tore through the sky, and the calm sea turned into thunder. On both sides, radars screamed, alarms blared, and history began to write its next bloody chapter. The Battle of the Pacific had begun. F/A-18 fighter jets screamed off American carriers, slicing through clouds. Chinese J-20 stealth fighters rose to meet them, invisible shapes in the dawn mist. Within minutes, the air became a storm of fire and vapor trails. On the USS Liberty's bridge, Commander Rachel Torres shouted over the roar, "Missile lock on the Dragon's Wrath. We have one shot." Steele's jaw tightened. "Then make it count." The missile launched, a glowing streak of fury across the water. For a moment, the entire world seemed to hold its breath. But Zhang Wei had been waiting. "Deploy C-screen," he barked. A swarm of Chinese defense drones shot upward, detonating in the missile's path. The sky exploded in a fiery bloom. The American strike failed. In Washington, President Trump watched from the White House Situation Room, surrounded by generals and advisors. His voice was calm but cold. "They think we'll back down? Tell the fleet, Operation Iron Wave is a go." Minutes later, hundreds of long-range bombers roared from Guam and Japan. The Pacific night lit up with explosions. China's coastal defenses retaliated, launching waves of countermissiles that turned the horizon into chaos.
Prepare the
Civilians
response.
on both sides watched from their screens, the world's two giants locked in a dance of destruction. In Beijing, families huddled underground as sirens wailed. In Los Angeles, people lined up at gas stations, whispering rumors of nuclear escalation. The planet itself seemed to tremble. On the battlefield, amidst all the metal and fire, humanity still flickered. A U.S. pilot, Captain Ryan Holt, ejected from his burning jet and parachuted into the stormy sea. His calm crackled, "This is Ghost 17, I'm down." Miles away, a Chinese rescue ship picked up his distress beacon. Zhang Wei hesitated for a moment, enemy or human? He gave the order quietly. "Recover him." Even in war, mercy is not weakness. Hours later, as the wounded pilot lay under a blanket aboard the Chinese ship, both fleets paused. The winds had died. Smoke drifted over the ocean. General Steele received the report and stared out at the quiet horizon. "They pulled one of ours out," he murmured. "Maybe there's still a line we haven't crossed yet." But at 1900 hours, satellites detected new launches, this time from the Chinese mainland. Massive warheads streaked toward American carriers. In response, the U.S. Navy prepared a full-scale counterstrike. The world hung on a knife's edge. Then, silence. The missiles stopped midair. Both nations' radar screens blinked off. Power grids across the Pacific went dark. A new player had entered the war, not with bombs, but with code. A massive AI-driven cyber weapon, unleashed by unknown hackers, had jammed both militaries. Neither side could see. Neither could fire. And in that strange, powerless silence, The soldiers looked at the red sky above and wondered if this was the world's warning that humanity had reached its limit. By dawn, temporary ceasefire messages spread through military channels. The war had not been won, only paused. General Steele looked at the rising sun and whispered, "Maybe that's all we get, a pause before the next storm." Admiral Zhang, staring at the same horizon from the opposite side, quietly agreed. And as the Pacific shimmered in morning light, carrying the smoke and ashes of what could have been the end, both men turned away, not as enemies, but as witnesses to the thin line between pride and extinction.